think we're all set up here. So if you kind of want to,
so it doesn't get bounced back and
forth. Oh, there we go. All right. I think we're ready to roll here. All the kids are here. We're kind of interested to hear your story, how you kind of started your whole personal branding idea, and then kind of where that has taken you over the last year or so.
Sure. So a couple years ago, I was told by, well, my dad is obviously very smart, and he knows what he's doing in terms of branding.
Just so you know, he's in the room right now, so you guys.
I know he is. I know he is. So so basically, I've had a resume for a long time, but you know, high school resume, you have so many different things on it, whether it be school, work, athletics, and basically you just kind of put everything down. And so what I wanted to do, as I got more things on my resume, whether it be through, you know, a lot of things through athletics and my education in school, going to a private high school and a small private high school in NEW, that all the opportunities I got there, being on the student council. And then the big one was at church with being youth group president for 2 years. And so all of these kind of things, when you're looking to get into college and you're figuring out what to put on, you know, you want them to see what you've done. And so all of this is kind of building into, it's part of your personal brand. Everything that you do is part of your personal brand. And so what I've been doing, everything that I do, I write it down, whether it be every experience that I get to have. And so one of the coolest things that I've gotten to do was be a part of I applied for the College of Business Honors Program here at Ohio. And that was an application the first application was just wanting to know what you've done, because it's a select leaders development program. And that's the thing that the program has changed from. It's now technically called an elite development program. So they're giving you tools as a leader well in the honors program. And so the application was everything that you've done in high school. And so I was able to put down all of these leadership things that I've already done. And then when we went down to Ohio for the selection day, it was on a Saturday morning, and we played a basketball game in Two Rivers on Friday night, got done 9:30. My mom and my dad and I drove all the way down 10 hours to Ohio, got there at 8 in the morning, had a full day of interviews, and about 3 weeks later found out that I got into the honors program. And so
okay, stop you right there for 1 second. So you talk about like a full day of interviews. Can you kind of tell the students like what that process was about? Because I think, like, you know, when high school kids hear about interviews, you know, it's pretty informal, whether they're applying at their local jobs, you know, whether it's in fast food or the mall or wherever. You know, here you actually had a full day, full 8 hours of interviews.
Yeah. So a lot of things, I believe there were, 25 people got into the honors program total. So I believe probably 70 were invited. And so there were 2 dates. And so we were all split up into groups of, I think, 4 to 5 people. And so other people from the honors program, so seniors and juniors and even some sophomores and even freshmen too, they helped out with it. And so we were put in these kind of team building exercises. And I don't remember exactly what it was, but there were a couple that we're sitting in a room and we're trying to figure out this puzzle together. And it's kind of like a challenge course team building thing. We couldn't talk, or there were some limitations. And so the key was, what they wanted to see was, how are you going to interact with people that you've never met before? And how are you going to kind of assert yourself in figuring out what needs to be done to complete the task? And so the first part of the day, I didn't really know what was going on, and I was very shy and timid. And then kind of throughout the day, you get to be more confident with what you're doing and what you know has to be done. And so just taking part of the interview was just trying to challenge yourself to speak up and be a vocal leader in what you're doing. And then we also sat down with the leader of the honors program and the vice president of the honors program too. I believe we sat down with 2 adults and then 1 student, and they asked us kind of questions like once you get into college, and even the real after college, like real interview questions like what are your strengths, what are your weaknesses, what is one thing where is one opportunity in your life that you had an opportunity to be a leader and you didn't capitalize on it. Where would you like to go in the future, and how will this honors program help you get there? And so what made it really nice was how relaxed the professors were. This program is something that I've never been a part of something like this, how developmental they are and how they really do care about each person, and how you can develop to be into the best person that you can be. And so really that whole day was just going through interviews of questions like that, but from different perspectives. And they took my resume, they had a hard copy of my resume, and they were looking at it and tell me about this detail and tell me about this experience and this work experience. And another thing that I'd like to tell you guys about resumes is, I think this was maybe one of the questions that was asked or was sent to me, but everything that you do in high school matters. And so whether you think it does, whether you're a senior and you think the second semester doesn't matter, somewhere along the line, you're going to have to give references to a potential employer, and they're always going to comment. They're always going to contact those people that you put down, and they're going to be honest with them. They're not going to sugarcoat it. And the thing that landed me a job this past summer, was just how well the people that I asked to or put down as a reference spoke of me. And all of that comes, every single thing that you do in high school, whether it just be walking through the halls or even in class, teachers see that, and people that you want to write a letter of recommendation for you in the future or give a good word about, everything matters. So that would just be one piece of advice, because personal branding is in everything that you do. It doesn't have to be on a piece of paper, or it doesn't have to be on a website or a blog like I've done. It's just every single thing that you do counts toward your personal brand, and it's basically your personal reputation too.
How many people applied for the, excuse me, like the honors program? You said it was down 70 people were invited. They cut it down to 25, but how many, tried getting into that program?
There were 200 people, I believe, that actually applied for that program. And actually, I'm mistaken. 200 people applied. They invited 100 for selection day, and then they picked 25 out of those people that came to selection day.
Brock, if I could add one thing, and this is something that I think from small town Pulaski we don't understand. Brock, do you know how many freshmen, I do, if you remember, how many freshmen actually business students are at OU right now? If you don't, I remember them telling us there's 550 freshman business students. So he, applying himself, got to be part of the 25 that are in the honors program. You folks are in a small high school, 1,100. You are competing against thousands of people for a job, for money. And so while he's saying it went to 25, there's 550 people. And that's what I don't think people walking in these halls realize. You're thinking about going to St. Norbert's. There's 600 other people going there wanting to do the same thing you want to do. It's just really important to, as he's talking about, brand yourself in a positive way.
Do you feel that separated you, and one of the reasons why you got selected in the program is because you had that developed already?
Yeah, I think it was huge. Being the opportunities that I've had through church and school, being a captain in all 3 sports, them seeing that I've already had leadership experience and the kind of the diversity of things that I had done, that was huge too. And another huge thing, I mean, I get it, not every high school kid's going to have a website. But as a senior in high school, when I had that website and I had put down, I can actually screen share it here in a minute. So what I did with my website is I have all these different things right here. Can you see that?
Yep.
So I have a homepage here with links for LinkedIn, Twitter, Instagram, and then they were actually able to see this about me. Here's a whole thing about me and what I've done and what I'm about. And then these things are huge too. Academic. I have an academic thing for everything that I've done in school, and this is all basically from my senior year on. And then you go over here, which talks about a little bit of what I've done with my leadership in terms of being a captain and such. And then this thing is huge that they were also able to see. These are all the skills that I believe that I have, and a little word about each one. And so them being able to see that I already have all these things mastered, quote unquote, in my eyes, or not really my eyes, but in other people's eyes. And then getting the leader of the honors program to see that I have these three excerpts from letters of recommendation from my teachers were huge to talk. Actually, I mean, it's one thing for me to talk about what I've done, but to have other teachers and athletic directors, principals to talk about what I've done. And this goes back to just being to what you do in high school and in the hallways, that everything carries over. So that would be one thing that I really did think set me apart in terms of when getting into the honors program.
Should the students come up and ask their questions? All right, we got a few students that are going to come up, and they're going to ask a few questions here.
Sure.
So they'll just kind of come up individually here. So, Bo or Rio, do you want to start? All right, you're already up. Come up here. Go, sir. My chair if you like.
Hi. One of the questions we had was, what are your favorite things about being in the honors business program?
My favorite thing about being in the honors program is probably how inclusive it is with everyone in the honors program. What we have as freshmen are called mentors. So every junior student has a freshman that they mentor that we meet with on a monthly basis and get to talk about things. Just getting advice from everyone in the program is huge. I would say some of my best friends are from the honors program, and getting all these things in common, because our first semester we had all classes together, which was huge. So just being able to be a part of a group where everyone is in it for the same thing, and we're all trying to develop ourselves as leaders and as students to become the best that we can and eventually get jobs. So probably just being with the other students and knowing that we're all striving for the same goal.
All right, thank you. Bo, you up?
All right. How did you set yourself apart from other applicants to get into your school and honors program?
I would say that what set me apart was probably the website, honestly, in my mind. That was huge in terms of being able to show I have a physical copy of a resume, but then I also have a website with things that other people have said about me in a positive manner. That was huge. And I would say also just the diversity of things that I'd done, whether it be through working. I've done a lot of things within our community for elderly people in terms of shoveling or mowing grass or doing little chores like that on the weekends or something like that. So that's been big. And then, yeah, I would probably say just getting to do all those different things. And yeah, I don't know. I mean, what was the question again?
I said, how did you set yourself apart from other applicants to get into school and honors program?
Set yourself apart. Probably while I was actually in selection day would probably be just taking control of the little group of 4 that we had, because there were people who necessarily didn't talk as much, and knowing that I've been a leader in other different things, with professors in the room, being able to show them that I can lead when we're trying to do a task that's a challenge course of sorts. So actually taking initiative while being with a group of other people who are trying to get into the honors program too, that was big. So.
Thanks, Brock. Dan, you want to come up?
What are some different things you did to help build your resume?
Different things I did to help build my resume. Being involved in a lot of different things, getting work experience in my town through side jobs. Even though I didn't have a full job, but my summer job was mowing lawns, and my winter job was shoveling snow. And I worked in my church. I worked different events such as craft sales, breakfasts, and being youth group president was big. Going to every meeting, taking control of decisions that needed to be made. And then athletic wise, I went to a small school of NEW with not a lot of people. And getting to be involved in 12 varsity sports, football, basketball, baseball, being a captain in each, showing that I have leadership skills. And then once I got to college, a thing that in our college of business class, we did something where we just made a resume, but we shortened it down because in high school, you have a resume of 5 pages. And once you get to college, and recruiters don't really have the time or want to read 5 pages necessarily of stuff you've done in high school. So in college, what I've done is I worked in the athletic ticket office, which actually helped me. I wanted to work in ticket sales this upcoming summer. And some of the reasons that I got an internship were just because of the experience that I worked in the ticket office at Ohio. Being a baseball manager was huge. Just diversifying yourself in what you want to do, because there's so many opportunities to get involved, and the more you do, the better you'll look.
All right, kid, you want to head up there?
Thanks. All right. So, what recommendations would you have for a student that wants to get into a business college?
I would say just do as much as you can, get involved in as much as you can without overdoing yourself. In high school, it's probably a little bit easier to get involved. Set yourself apart by what you want to do, because in college, there are a lot of people, even in a business school, there are a lot of people who just want to go into business but don't really know what they want to do. I mean, you don't want to rush what you actually want to do, and it could change too. But if you have an idea of what you want to do, it can help you get involved, and you can talk to the right people who know where you can go. I would say continue to be a good student, even after you've already gotten into a business school, because people can still see what you've done, and they can still talk to people. They'll always talk to people they used to work for, or teachers. So that would be something I would say. Continue to be a good student. If you can, take college classes in high school, whether it be AP. AP is not the greatest, but I took dual enrollment classes and got a whole semester of college knocked out when I was a senior in high school. So that's something that's really critical, because it gets you knowing what college classes are already like. And that can something that can set you apart too, knowing that you've already had experience in college classes.
Hey, Brock.
Yeah.
Last thing, thank you. These young men and women do cold calling, so they're going to have to call a business so that they can get in front of them and sell something. Can you explain what you did last August with 400 emails?
Yeah. So this past summer, I was actually at a birthday party, and I was talking with my aunt about. Yes.
Can you start again? We got distracted by your roommate.
Sorry. So this summer, I was talking with my aunt about I kind of wanted to work in college athletics, and one of her good friends is the director of marketing and promotions actually at UW Stout. And so she said, well, I can possibly get you an internship there. And so I thought to myself, well, I was working up at Camp Luther this summer. I had a decent amount of free time towards the end of the summer. And I thought, what can I do, even though it's already August, to get involved with other schools and get them at least see what I have available. And so I I emailed colleges, universities, Division I through Division III, even a couple NAIA schools about possible internships. And I can actually pull it up here. And I emailed over 400 of them just because I knew that there was no harm, and the more opportunities I had, and especially going into college too. I mean, how many people haven't even stepped foot on a college campus and already have internship offers, which I actually had 2 before I even stepped on campus. So I'm going to share the screen here and show what my email was basically. So this is the email that I sent out. I copied and pasted it to virtually every school in the country. I changed the school name, obviously. Everyone didn't say Gonzaga on there. I did forget to change it a couple times. And I actually heard from a school, even though I had the wrong name in there, which was kind of interesting to me. But this is something that I'd like to bring up. This is what the assistant director of athletics at Gonzaga out in Washington emailed me back. And I set up here that I really wanted to be proactive. And he responded, being proactive never hurts. And he also said, encourage you to get involved even on a volunteer basis at Ohio. And so what I did is get involved with the program, with the athletic office, and working in ticket sales and with the baseball team. And so basically cold called schools, but through emails. And I actually ended up with 8 internship offers by November 1st. And so, the thing is for me that I really had nothing to lose. And when you guys are thinking about doing this, or maybe not this to this extreme, but even contacting people for jobs, the worst they can do is say no, which is something that my dad told me, and something that really stuck with me, that the worst they can do is say no. And so that's why I just emailed as many people as I could. I had some pretty cool opportunities. I really wanted to go out to Utah State and intern there, but they couldn't pay me, and I had to find my own housing, and I'm not going to go 20 hours away if I'm not getting paid and end up paying something. So this summer I am working at my dad's alma mater, actually, Luther College in Decorah, Iowa, working as an intern in their athletic department for my boss, basically, is the associate athletic director. And so what I'm going to be doing is updating media guides and projects for coaches, and working on the website and the athletics website and whatever else they need me to do. And so that was one thing that was really cool to me, because I've made all these connections. And when I was making my LinkedIn, all these people that I had from my email that I had emailed for schools, they all popped up on my LinkedIn. And so I was able to connect with them on LinkedIn, and something that I actually didn't tell my dad about yet, but so a really cool opportunity was I really wanted to work in ticket sales, but none of the opportunities were really paid or were too far away for the summer after my freshman year. And so I've actually kept in contact with the director of ticket operations at the University of Buffalo, which happens to be in my conference, Ohio's conference. And we've kept some dialogue, and I emailed her last week, a couple weeks ago, and I said, I worked in as you know, because I told her that I worked in the ticket office, and I really liked it, and I really think that what I want to do possibly after college is work in ticket operations. And I said, so obviously it didn't work out this summer, but I really liked talking to you and the opportunity of going to Buffalo. And I said, maybe just something to keep in mind for the summer of the following year, maybe in between my sophomore and junior year would be a little bit better of an opportunity. And she said, absolutely. So just let me know, when you're ready. So me getting experience in ticket office I actually had I had interviews with people for ticket office. I had 10 phone interviews, which was huge in me learning how to have an interview and talk to adults in this sort of manner. But I feel that there were two opportunities that I had in ticket sales at D1 colleges that hired me just because of the experience that I had in ticket operations on a volunteer basis. It's just a really great opportunity. What I think another question that I saw on the list was, what do you want to do after college? Something that I really want to do. I'm a student manager here for the baseball team, as you know. Great opportunity. I actually get to travel with the team. We're leaving for Charleston, South Carolina, 2 weeks from tomorrow. And what I really want to do is be a graduate assistant, which is you're in graduate school. If you don't know, you're in graduate school, but you're a coach. And so what I'd like to do is get a master's in coaching education and coach college baseball, work my way up. But something that I can also give you guys as advice is, I watched a video that my dad sent me, Gary Vaynerchuk. He's a CEO, entrepreneur, blogger, and now I'm hooked on watching his stuff because he so knows what he's talking about. And as marketing students, it would be great to watch that stuff too. But he said, one of the things I care about, two things. I care about patience and self-esteem. And he elaborated on patience, saying every kid that comes out of college thinks that what they're going to get, it's going to get tomorrow. They're going to get it right away. And it's going to be smooth sailing. And something that I've experienced working in a D1 baseball program, it doesn't, everything is, it doesn't happen right away. Sometimes I feel like the players treat us better than the coaches do. Honestly, two of the coaches don't even know our names, and we've been there since August. But just know that you're going to get to where you want to get as long as you work hard, and it starts in high school. It starts the day you walk in high school. Honestly, everything that you do builds up to your reputation and the way that you're viewed. Absolute last thing. So I had an interview the first day I got on campus. I had an interview with the assistant baseball coach, and he said, "What are you doing? Like, what are you involved with?" And I said, I am in the honors program, and I kind of told him what I've been doing through high school, and I told what I did at selection day. He walked me over to the other assistant coach, and he said, "This is Brock. He's going to be one of our managers." And after I told him everything that I had done, and I'm in the honors program, he goes, "Brock seems like one of the 3 freshmen that I know that has their shit together." And so it all comes from what I had done in high school, the reputation I had, and getting involved with what I wanted to get involved in. So just know that everything you do has an impact on what you want to do in the future, and go for what you want to do. I mean, there's no better feeling than going. I love what I do. I'm going to school for what I want to go to school for. I'm involved in multiple things that I really love. And there's no cooler thing than knowing that your hard work in high school paid off to get many opportunities you're going to have down the road.
So, Brock, we got to wrap it up here. We appreciate you taking your time to do a little Google Hangout with us. So you definitely provided some valuable information here for the students. And
No
we
problem.
may probably you're dealing with taking a look at your website and also kind of some of the steps that you took, again, with your personal brand. But, thank you again for your time.
Perfect. Thank you.
Take care, Brock. Thanks again.
Thank you.